Back in California, she had surf, sunshine, and wineries, not to mention Harry and Meghan as neighbors, only to sell her home for £25 6 million and start a new life in the UK after Donald Trump's election victory last year. But might Ellen DeGeneres now regret her decision? I can disclose that just a couple of weeks after she made a trip back to Montecito, the retired chat show host is in peril of getting on the wrong side of heiress Rosie Pearson, the youngest of the late Viscount Cowdray's 6 offspring. It transpires that Ellen, 67, committed a technical breach when building a single-story extension to the Cotswolds farmhouse she and her wife, Ally McBeal star Portia de Rossi, who yesterday celebrated her 52nd birthday, now call home. Ellen snapped up the property in June for PS 15 million, some £2.5 million over the asking price. The proposed work might sound unexceptional, but 3 parish councillors, including Rosie, 65, feared that it could disturb Roman remains, which prompted them to contact local planning enforcement officers. The onus is on the owner to report any historic remains uncovered, records a note from the parish council minutes. It adds, concern was expressed by residents that the hedge and wire fence could increase flood risk in the village if rubbish was swept down and caught on the fence, thereby limiting flow across the field. Ellen, who retired last year after a challenging period in which she was accused of creating a toxic on-set atmosphere, might have hoped for a gentler embrace in the Cotswolds, where residents include Kate Moss, Jeremy Clarkson, and from time to time, the Beckhams. The comedian, who reportedly sold another of her many properties in California for a staggering PS 77 million, should be consoled by the verdict of the district council, whose spokesman tells me the Roman remains are, in fact, more than 200 yards from their property and that Ellen's work was completed to a high standard. Perhaps in time, she and Portia will bond with Rosie, who has her own experiences of trying to create a new life far from home. She moved to Jamaica, marrying Palma Taylor, a Rastafarian known as Dardred, in 1988. The couple had 2 daughters before parting, after which Rosie fell in love again, this time with the Cotswolds. Will Pippa's nursery be fit for royalty? The royals are often in a conundrum of where to send their children to school, and I hear the Princess of Wales's sister, Pippa Middleton, 41, and her husband, James Matthews, are planning a way to get such tots off to a flying start. The couple have opened discussions with locals in Berkshire about creating a child care center on their 77-acre farm, which hedge fund boss Matthews, 49, bought for £1.5 million in 2020. Bucklebury Farm is considering opening a nursery for children aged 9 months to 5 years. They wrote online, adding, "We'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions. Let us know what you think." Any takers? The Smart Set's talking about Thatcher's at war as Mark sells Maggie mementos. These days, Sir Mark Thatcher leads a discreet life, far from the attention that accompanied his every move during the 11 years his mother was Prime Minister. Quote of Deja Week: "He doesn't know I exist." Drag Race star Michelle Visage hopes Johnny Depp, who played Edward Scissorhands in Tim Burton's cult classic, will acknowledge her new musical Scissorhands. But next Thursday, he'll edge back towards the spotlight when some of his parents' most cherished possessions go under the hammer. The glare of publicity may, though, be the least of his worries, judging by the yelp of horror from his twin sister, the redoubtable Carol. "This is the first I have heard of this auction," she assures me. May I say emphatically that it is absolutely nothing to do with me. Dan Hunt of Sloane Street Auctions declines to comment, beyond saying that the 29 lots include a very beautiful opal brooch, bearing an estimate of between £5,000 and £8,000, and a portrait of the Iron Lady, which graced the sitting room in Chester Square when she and Sir Dennis retired to Belgravia, is expected to go for £15,000. Perhaps Carol, who munched kangaroo testicles on her way to I'm a Celebrity victory in 2005, will bid for another lot. A cartoon by my esteemed male on Sunday colleague Mac. It was inspired by the dramatic time in early 1982 when Mark competed in the Paris-Dakar Rally and went missing for 6 days. Not quite long enough, Carol might playfully reflect. Paint it brown. Georgia May Jagger reveals her special seaweed facial. Rolling Stones fans can't get any satisfaction now the band have reportedly scrapped their 2025 European tour, but the show goes on for Sir Mick Jagger's enterprising daughter Georgia May.